So as you know, I've been working on creating 3D printable timber wagon, and this is one of the first prints, and it's quite short and it has no undercarriage detail, but it was a bit of a test on whether or not the stanchions would actually work. So as you can see, they're quite stiff and they work quite well, and they just slot in. I didn't require any glue. They were just nice and firm on that. So I made some modifications, added some underframe detail, I had to stretch it out a little bit, added the ability to do a 13 stanchion wagon and such. And this is the next print that came out, and it hasn't been quite as successful, I'm afraid. Yeah, because I stretched it, I think the holes where the stanchions go in have stretched, so all the stanchion slots are too wide and they just fall out quite easy. As you can see, most of them are missing. But the underframe details come out alright. I made some extra additions to that. I also tried to add NAM pockets to it, and that hasn't worked at all because the design I was going off was the official MOROP NEM standards, but it didn't mention how deep the hole needed to be behind the pivot point. And as it turns out, the gap I've left is far too short. So I'm redesigning that and working on updating this a bit more so it actually fits and works how the other one did. But hopefully that'll get done this weekend. Because in New Zealand it's a public holiday or a bank holiday. You recognise it in Britain, it's Labour Day, so we get a long weekend, which is superb. Otherwise, I've got some Kestrel kits that I'm working on for my layout. I've decided I'll probably stick with it for now. What I've tried to do here is put the white mortar in between all the red bricks using some weathering powders. This is some stuff I got ages ago. If it'll zoom and focusing. Yes, excellent, there you go. Just some white weathering powders, and I use some Humbrol Decalfix and just water it down a bit to make it a bit runny and fill in all the cracks. Come on, focus, there we go. Pretty standard stuff. And yeah, that's come out alright. Some of them are I've gone a bit over the top perhaps. Focus. And it looks slightly over weathered. I don't understand, why is it not focusing? Focus. Disaster. But that's alright, because I'll wipe that down and we should be sweet. So I've got a few more of the terrace buildings coming in soon, and I'll be building up a Metcalfe platform station buildings. I haven't really done much on my brake tenders, other than just the primer, so I need to get on with painting them. I have actually got all the paints, with the blue, the yellow, the red. I've even got some metallic silver for any metal bits that I want to highlight, like the handrails and such, but I think they were normally painted white, so I've got some white paint as well. My presents this week included a Model Power crane wagon, which I intend on doing some painting on, make it look a bit of Rule 1, but make it look a bit closer to perhaps an BR Engineering, or even just cover up some of that orange because it's a bit gaudy, perhaps, and see if I can get anything that looks like a remotely British. I also got from eBay a ton of Mark II coaches, so I've got a ton of TSOs and more TSOs. These are all the newer Bachmann ones. And finally I got myself a brake. So I'm tempted at some point, I've seen it done before, converting it into a DBSO. Now obviously I wouldn't have lights and I wouldn't have any of that stuff perhaps, but I'll give it a try and just see what it looks like. That could be fun, a little project. I also got a veritable ton of Scenic Scatter second-hand, so there's not all of it there, but not quite right. Got some grass, some ballast, some more grass, and some more ballast. And keeping with the scenics, I got a ton of little bits and pieces, like there are some sheep and lambs, and some cows, pack of people, so station service crew. Not too sure how applicable they are to the British Railways, but now this is something I could do with help with. I don't know what this is. It looks like, these look like oil drums, and other bits and pieces. It looks like fencing perhaps, but I'm not certain what most of this is. So if anyone has any ideas, that'd be great if you let me know. Rather morbid, but I've got some gravestones. I've got a small Kestrel's small signal box, which I may or may not use. Pico buffer stops, got a couple of those already, so that'll be handy to be able to do the rest. Some wagon loads. These are the cook, but I actually have ballast in my. I'd use something more realistic rather than the plastic one, so I'm not sure if I'll keep those. Some other random figures. This guy looks like a couple of people on a motorbike and sidecar. That looks like a telephone box, a letterbox, and pedestrian crossing with lollipops. How very exciting. An old kaput steam engine of the truest form. So that might not get much use unless I have. So I've also got a bunch of older style vehicles. That aren't really the era that I'm modelling in, but who knows, maybe I have a museum on my layout for older vehicles. That might be nice. And then some model scene basic cars. That's probably more likely to be used. Got some road, just tape road from Fala. Some more cars and bits and pieces. Just little bits and bobs. Just keep it interesting. And then I've got a bunch of electrics. So I've got some PL10E Pico turnout motors, which will have to be useful because I've got board mounted ones which for N scale look a bit ridiculous, so I might swap them out because they're also not working very well. So I've got a bunch of them. Got a bunch of push buttons. Alternatively, I could do some stud and tag style controls because I've got a bunch of them. Some handy cable. Some handy little electromagnetic uncouplers. Got a couple of those and a couple of manual ones. Haven't quite worked out how you're supposed to get the wire under the track, but anyway, and just some couplers. So that was a very cool present from eBay. As you can see, I've got quite a selection of stuff now. So I'll probably keep the layout as it is. See if I can't tidy it up, see if I can't get the point motors to switch the point motors around and use the PL10Es. Also need to fix up my OBA wagons design, get them working, because a couple of people have said they wouldn't want the NEM sockets, they'd want to just glue their own or use completely different connectors anyway. So, you know, that's also an option there. It makes it easier on me because Frosted Ultra GT might not be flexible enough to allow for the use of NEM sockets anyway. Which would be a shame, but hey ho, that's how it goes. Anyway, here is a bit of a running session just to show off my new stock.